So you stuck it out for one more practice. Well, that means that you feel like you needed it. So I'm kind of glad you did that. Notice that we have a top and a bottom with triples. Okay, so we have to factor those. We're going to do magic X's for those. And then we have a double over a double, but we still need to factor those completely before we can reduce. We also need to make sure we do our exclusions. On the top, we are looking for factors of 1 times 32, which is 32, that make B, which is negative 12. So factors of 32 that add up to 12 are 8 and 4. But in order to add up to get a negative 12, you need a negative 8 and a negative 4. So this is the factored piece of the top. So our top is going to have an x minus 8 and an x minus 4. Now, if you have x minus 4 and x minus 8, that's fine. But those two are the ones that have to be on the top. On the bottom, to do a magic X, we would need factors of A times C, which is 1 times negative 16, which is negative 16. And the B is negative 6. So factors of 16, this one we're subtracting. So we want the values to subtract to give us 6, and that would be 8 and 2. And the way that we can add those up to get a negative 6 would be that we would want the 8 to be negative and the 2 to be positive, because that's how we would end up with a negative 6 when we're adding them. And don't forget our x is here. So our factors on the bottom would be x minus 8 and x plus 2. So you can kind of see already what's going on here. Moving on to the right side. Again, we're factoring first. This is a GCF, and our GCF is 7x. And inside the one parenthesis, I will have an x plus 2. And on the bottom, there's a GCF of 7x. And when we divide that out, we'll just get x plus 3. So there it is in all of its glory. The next thing we're going to do is take a look at exclusions. Our exclusions, anything that's in the denominator, yes, you have to identify as an exclusion as long as there's a variable with it. So we've got our exclusions. X minus 8 is going to give us x can't be 8. This one is x can't be negative 2. This one is x can't be 0. And this one is x can't be negative 3. Those are our exclusions for this problem. Now that we have our exclusions done, we can start reducing. Any top with any bottom, that's a double, that's the same. So x minus 8s can go. X plus 2. Now this x minus 4 and this x plus 3, they don't have anything in common. They are not identical, so you can't reduce those. I do have a 7 with a 7 and an x with an x. If they weren't together, you could still reduce them because this is really a multiply. So the x's can cancel and so can the 7s, and those both become 1s. So we've done all we can do. We've got 1 times x minus 4 times 1 times 1 times 1. So there's our x minus 4. We have 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times x plus 3. Here's our solution, and here are all the exclusions.